Good day everyone and welcome to Trending Update USA. I'm your anchor Steffan, and today we bring you a major breaking story from the world of international tennis. Several top players, including American stars Coco Gauff and Fritz, have been issued warnings by the International Tennis Integrity Agency, also known as the ITIA, regarding food safety concerns ahead of the Asian swing of the tennis calendar. This development has created waves across the sports community, raising questions about how athletes are being protected, and what this means for competition in the coming weeks. Let's break it all down for you. The ITIA, which is the independent body overseeing anti-doping and integrity measures in tennis, has officially alerted players traveling to China and other parts of Asia to be cautious about their dietary choices. Specifically, the warning focuses on the potential risk of eating locally sourced meat, which could contain substances banned under the World Anti-Doping Agency's prohibited list. At the heart of the matter is clenbuterol, a performance-enhancing substance that can sometimes be found in contaminated meat products. This chemical has been linked to livestock farming practices in certain regions, and though it's illegal in sports, its accidental ingestion through food has been documented in the past. Athletes who test positive for clenbuterol face strict sanctions, even if they consumed it unintentionally. The ITIA's advisory has been circulated just days before the start of key tournaments in China, including the WTA 1000 China Open in Beijing, as well as ADP events in Shanghai and elsewhere. For American players such as Coco Gauff, the reigning U.S. Open champion, and Fritz, one of the leading men's players from the United States, this is an especially sensitive time. Both athletes are preparing for high-stakes competitions that could affect their year-end rankings and qualification for prestigious season-ending tournaments like the WTA Finals and ADP Finals. This warning is not unprecedented. Similar advisories have been issued by anti-doping bodies before major events in Mexico and China, where clenbuterol contamination in the meat supply has historically raised red flags. For example, during the 2011 FIFA Under-17 World Cup in Mexico, several players tested positive for clenbuterol, but investigations later confirmed the contamination came from food, not deliberate doping. In 2016, the World Anti-Doping Agency formally acknowledged the risks of accidental ingestion in countries where clenbuterol use in farming is more prevalent. So why is this coming up again now? The tennis calendar has shifted its focus toward Asia after the conclusion of the U.S. Open. Dozens of tournaments are set to be played across China, Japan, and other Asian nations over the next 6 weeks. Players, coaches, and officials will be eating meals both at tournament venues and in local settings, increasing the risk of accidental exposure. The ITIA has urged players to take strict precautions. Recommendations include eating only at official tournament hotels, avoiding street food or unverified restaurants, and sticking to diets that minimize the risk of contamination. In some cases, teams are advised to import their own food supplies or rely heavily on vegetarian options. For Coco Gauff, who is just 21 years old and rapidly emerging as the face of American tennis, this warning underscores the pressures top athletes face off the court. She is coming off an impressive summer season and is eager to prove herself in Asia, where she will face strong competition from the likes of Iga Swiatek, Aryna Sabalenka, and Naomi Osaka. A potential contamination issue could derail her season if not handled carefully. Fritz, on the men's side, also has much at stake. The American number one has been working hard to cement his place inside the world's top 10. He is aiming for a strong finish to qualify for the ADP Finals in Turin. For a player like Fritz, the difference between qualifying and missing out can mean millions in prize money and significant ranking points. Beyond these two big names, dozens of other players, Americans and internationals alike, are being affected by this advisory. The ITIA's announcement doesn't single out individuals but applies to the entire player pool competing in Asia. However, the fact that Coco Gauff and Fritz are both highly visible stars makes their situations particularly newsworthy. This warning also highlights a broader debate in sports: how to balance fair play and athlete safety in an environment where food supply chains differ dramatically from one country to another. Critics argue that athletes should not have to worry about what's on their dinner plate when traveling for tournaments. They should be able to focus on competition, not on the fear of failing a doping test due to contaminated food. Sports nutritionists and anti-doping experts are weighing in on the issue. Many suggest that governing bodies like the WTA, ADP, and ITIA should work with local governments to ensure safer dining options at tournament sites. Some recommend providing certified meat sources or exclusive dining facilities for players and staff. Others call for updated doping protocols that take accidental contamination into account, though this is controversial because it risks creating loopholes for genuine offenders. The players themselves are also speaking out. While Coco Gauff has not yet issued a public statement about the ITIA warning, sources close to her team say they are taking the matter very seriously and planning to rely on controlled dining environments during their stay in China. Taylor Fritz, who has previously expressed concerns about anti-doping rules being too strict, is reportedly also adjusting his preparations to minimize any risk. It's worth noting that the Asian swing is a critical part of tennis not only for rankings but also for the sport's global growth. After years of pandemic disruptions, this year marks the full return of major tournaments in China, including events in Beijing, Wuhan, and Shanghai. The success of these tournaments is important for the WTA and ADP, both financially and strategically, as Asia represents a massive fan base and market for the sport. However, controversies like this could overshadow the excitement of tennis returning to the region. If even one top player were to test positive due to contaminated meat, it could ignite a scandal and spark renewed criticism of anti-doping systems worldwide. To sum it up, the ITIA has issued a strong caution to tennis players ahead of the Asian swing, warning them about the dangers of consuming local meat that could contain banned substances such as clenbuterol. Stars like Coco Gauff and Taylor Fritz are among those taking the advisory seriously as they prepare for high-stakes tournaments in China and beyond. The situation raises important questions about athlete safety, food standards, and the balance between anti-doping enforcement and fairness in international competition. As always, Trending Update USA will continue to follow this story closely. We'll bring you updates on how players are responding, any official reactions from the WTA, ADP, or ITIA, and whether new measures will be introduced to protect athletes during this crucial part of the season. That's all for now. I'm Steffan, and you're watching Trending Update USA. Stay tuned for more breaking sports news and global updates.